great response about it. Like, are you surprised? Did you think more people would say, yeah, Sydney's off limits? I mean, it just is not great what her daughter says about her.
No,
I
and
don't
I
know.
tend to believe her, and then I mean Vicky also implies like no one ever Tamra does this. She's basically calling Tamra sisters with Jizzy Jizz. She's saying that she basically comes for everyone because she doesn't want to deal with her own life. And let's talk about the problems in your marriage with Eddie. Now that's the first I'm hearing of that, but
Okay, I was gonna
I don't
ask you, what if
know.
you heard do you think there's truth to that?
I mean, they seem like they're together, right? They seem happy. No? I
I
mean,
mean, he
is
does a
anyone really
podcast.
happy?
Doesn't he do a podcast under their
Oh,
umbrella?
I thought that failed a long time ago. Those guys still
Oh,
have a
did it?
podcast? I don't know. No shade. That still exists. The two husbands.
Oh, let
I
me look.
didn't. I mean, that's news to me.
Let me look. Because they
Maybe,
put a
honestly.
bunch of shows under their umbrella.
hmm I thought it just failed and like it was gone, but I could be wrong. So it's like, no, I don't believe a word that Tamara says in this. All of a sudden, take my orange, all of a sudden, Tamara's a victim. I mean, she also just recently said in some interview, I can dish it out and I can take it. So according to her, she can dish it out and take it. This doesn't seem like you're taking it. Are you hopped up on pain pills? I don't believe a word in that, take my orange and you won. All of a sudden, she's a victim. I had a breakup with someone where, oh, she was such a professional victim. It's like, girl, no one believes your fucking shit. So I didn't believe it. Did you believe anything about this video
No.
with her
Mm-mm.
crying? No,
No,
neither.
I didn't, and I just think it's ironic. I think it's ironic with the whole Shannon thing, and I think she's trying to gain empathy for because she's received a ton of backlash for the way she's been portrayed this season on RHOC.
So
She
this
just
is it. Vicky's come for her and now she's broken. You're hitting me at my lowest. Take my orange. You won. You win. Really?
I know,
Really?
I think it backfired her on her so badly. I'm looking to see if Eddie podcast, if he still has the pod. I think you're right. The Eds.
Yeah, I think that's gone. I'm
I
sorry.
think you're right.
So I'm not on the rat
Well,
side, and
yeah,
again, this is like Teresa and Melissa. If people are going to start trying to figure out my point of view and whose side I'm on, you're going to drive yourself fucking crazy because I'm an impartial flip flopper who observes the facts. And I got problems with everyone involved in this situation, Vicky and Tamara. I don't really have any problems with Vicky. It's just at some point, why are you doing this? If you're doing it for the podcast, but I also then have to say there's a disconnect between Vicky on the show. I got to give it to the counselor, my fellow lawyer, Miss Simpson, when she says roll tape. I have the thing is that problem I have is when Vicky is up there and she's like, I am here because women do not speak to women like this.
I
We are
know.
better
That's
than this.
critical.
And
I know.
then Gina's like, I know this is exactly who we are. Wherever that remember that was that. I don't
I
even know.
agree. That looks so dumb. And I mean, Vicky's made her money off trucking trash and then doing
Right. And
the insurance.
look what
Yeah.
she's saying. It's very low about Sidney and Tamara's coming back. So it's like, just own it. Like at least
Yeah.
Teodoro Melonball knows that she is a messy motherfucker and she was not cut out for housewives. And y'all think she's boring. And a lot of people still don't enjoy listening to her on the podcast. But to your point where I criticize other podcasts because we are so big and successful over here. Two T's is the real deal. I am more than happy. Listen, when I'm looking up at something, I will give it credit. Two T's is no joke. So Teodoro has done it and just stay in your lane. And you know what the numbers are on a podcast. So like with Teddy, talk about it all day because this is your job. I don't know what Vicky's doing.
Oh,
I don't think Vicky it thinks this is like the job and this is helping the podcast. I think she really is just bitter over her breakup with Tamra. I wish it was for her podcast. Again, I even said to her when we were going down the Bravo bench road with her, I said, girl, here's some free advice. You should fucking sit there and do a recap every week of RHOC. You're missing your time, girl. We're halfway through. What are you talking about women's issues in business and how to dress for success? Nobody fucking cares, Vicky. Nobody. And I charge for this type of advice. So there you go, your free fucking advice. You should sit there for the 10 weeks we have left and do a recap and triple down on this because people are invested. You have got me riled.
I know. You really like it. I was just going to say to you, there is something going on with the Eds. The last episode they published was in August 15th of this year, and it's labeled The Good Fight. Not every marriage is perfect. Eddie and Edwin open up about what makes and breaks a relationship. So this might be why people are beginning to go,
Okay, well, there
what's
you
going on?
go.
Or these guys could just be talking about every marriage. I mean, I've been married for 5 years. I know it's highs and lows, but it looks as though they only put out 1 to 2 podcast episodes a month. So it may still be going, but they're not a weekly show. It looks like they're a bi-monthly. They post 2 podcast episodes a month. So that's
So
interesting.
that's that.
Yeah. You know, yeah, I love all the highlights. This has certainly been a big discussion for sure. And I think look, my thing is, I don't know what the holdup is. Vicki should have launched the right side of Bravo and leaned into being a Republican and said, truly, the network has turned their backs on anyone conservative, which is like mind boggling because half of the Bravo audience is. And they should have said, hey, here is a home for you to be MAGA or whatever you want to be and love on Bravo. And we're unapologetic and we're going to let our politics fly if it happens to be that. And we're going to talk trash about the housewives and we're going to embrace being a Republican and don't let anybody tell you different. They're $1 million.
Her and Crazy Dodd and Amber Marchese.
Absolutely.
That's who I would cast. I mean, you want to make it like The View? Let's get 2 others.
I
I'm
just
sure.
Vicky and I mean, 2T is 2. What you and I've talked about is there's only 2 hosts. Less money to split. They're making a fortune off that because you ain't got a cast of 5.
Although you got to give that iHeart a percentage. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Got to give them a big cut.
Guess
So
who doesn't give a cut? David Yontef and Sarah Fraser.
I know.
I mean,
Talk to us about how to make money in podcasting.
I mean, oh, you're not on a platform. That loser. We have a loser in life, and her name is Marisol. Do you know a woman named Marisol Patent? She is a loser. Okay,
She's still on the
drunk
podcast?
loser. Not barely. It's failing. She shaded me, but she doesn't. She hates me because of Anna. And she shaded me and she said, at least we're on a network. Girl, that is not a brag like you think it is. You are on a network, girl. Enjoy your $100 that you make every 6 months.
Oh, they don't know what they don't know.
I'm being obnoxious today, but I just really
No,
got
but
riled
the
up.
statements like that are so stupid because she believes it when
Stupid.
she doesn't even
Yes.
know how much money she's losing on the table. Like she thinks that that's like sick brag, but you're like, oh, if you only
Yeah, I got a call from
know.
iHeart once. I'm like, why would no one call me the first month of my podcast when I had no fucking idea? I would
You're
have signed
too
to any
smart.
network possible. I didn't know how to do anything. My thumb was up my ass and I didn't even know how to open my eye. Now, no, thank you. Sign me to a TV deal. I mean, mind you, we're gonna have to talk about our night with Sutton.
I know. Okay, we gotta go anyway. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when we were with Sutton and Sutton was like, look at all of, because she knows us, and she was like, look at this and how are you doing this, and like look at call her daddy. Let me make it very clear, I'm available for purchase. Like someone could come along and purchase this show. I don't even need $125 million. I will
First
take
of all,
much less.
We'll get into this next podcast, but Sutton is a fan of your show, came up to you and wanted to know when you were doing $100 million deal like Travis Kelce and his brother. And P.S., I actually think you could probably sell your show. I'm going to say for somewhere between 5 and 10 million. But I don't think you would. I don't think you would. Because you are too independent. You're too independent.
Well, sweetie, there's a difference between 5 and 10 million, darling. And by the way, I'm going to make the offer right here for everyone to hear. Anyone that wants to sell this show will get 30% of the sale if you bring me to it. And by the way, if you also have any ads that you know if someone wants to advertise on this show, you will also get 30% of the sale. That's how it works. There's no backing out. You get me $1,000, you get 300. You get me $10,000, you get 3,000. There you go. It's just a quick math. No, I might sell this show one day if someone comes along.
All right. I'll love you and leave you. We've got a lot to cover next episode. A
Jesus.
ton. We've got Vanderpump, Jax Taylor's PTSD
I told
diagnosis.
you I am invested like this, but you know what? It's good. We're still gonna talk New Jersey, but the kids want me to feel something. I'm awake. Mama is awake because I feel maybe I just enjoy speaking where I personally know both of the people and I don't really love either of them as humans, and yet I see positives and negatives from both. And that is the rat that scurries versus Miss Victoria. I don't sleep with multiple partners, Gunvalson.
Ooh. All right. We have a ton to cover when we get
You
back.
can talk the whole
Lenny,
next show. I have talked way too much. Yeah, we've talked about Lenny. Come to our live show. I'm awake, I'm focused, and you guys, it's gonna be a real deal at the live show. And you could ask us anything because a lot of things we didn't answer last time.
true. All right. Bye,
All right,
honey.
I'll see you soon. Bye.